Afternoon. It's Thursday afternoon, almost to evening. I've let the time slip by up on me again, but we're going to get this done. So today I'm reading Matthew 13, Matthew 13, and it starts off the parable of the sower. That same day Jesus went out of the house and sat beside the sea, and great crowds gathered about him, so that he got into a boat and sat down. And the whole crowd stood on the beach, and he told them many things in parables, saying, A sower went out to sow, and as he sowed, some seeds fell along the path, and the birds came and devoured them. Other seeds fell on rocky ground, where they did not have much soil, and immediately they sprang up, since they had no depth of soil. But when the sun rose, they were scorched, and since they had no root, they withered away. Other seeds fell among thorns, and the thorns grew up and choked them. Other seeds fell on good soil and produced grain, some 100-fold, some 60, some 30. He who has ears, let him hear. And again, Jesus is repeating that. Don't make sure you hear with your whole head. Take it in and pay attention. The purpose of the parables. Then the disciples came and said to him, Why do you speak to them in parables? And he answered them, To you it has been given to know the secrets of the kingdom of heaven, but to them it has not been given. For to the one who has, more will be given, and he will have an abundance. But from the one who has not, even what he has will be taken away. This is why I speak to them in parables, because seeing they do not see, and hearing they do not hear, nor do they understand. Indeed, in their case the prophecy of Isaiah is fulfilled, that says, You will indeed hear but never understand, and you will indeed see but never perceive. For this people's heart has grown dull, and with their ears they can barely hear, and their eyes they have closed, lest they should see with their eyes, and hear with their ears, and understand with their heart, and turn, and I will lead them. Now, I'm taking that to mean Jesus wasn't trying to be deceptive. He was speaking to them and trying to teach them. But you know yourself, if you want to learn something, you're more apt to learn it than if it's something you're not interested in. You're going to pay attention. You're going to dig in. And so the ones who really didn't care whether they got it or not, they listened, but they really weren't taking it in. And so to me, that's what Jesus is talking about. Jesus is not going to deny anyone who wants to learn. Blessed are your eyes, for they see, and your ears, for they hear. For truly I say to you, many prophets and righteous people longed to see what you see and did not see it, and to hear what you hear and did not hear it. And then the next section is titled The Parable of the Sower Explained. Hear then the parable of the sower. When anyone hears the word of the kingdom and does not understand it, the evil one comes and snatches away which has been sown in his heart. This is what was sown along the path. As for what was sown on rocky ground, this is the one who hears the word and immediately receives it with joy. Yet he has no root in himself, but endures for a while, and when tribulation or persecution arises on account of the word, immediately he falls away. As for what was sown among thorns, this is the one who hears the word, but the cares of the world and the deceitfulness of riches choke the word, and it proves unfruitful. As for what was sown on good soil, this is the one who bears the word and understands it. He indeed bears fruit and yields, in one case 100-fold, in another 60, and in another 30. And then the next section is titled The Parable of the Weeds. He put another parable before them, saying, The kingdom of heaven may be compared to a man who sowed good seed in his field, but while his men were sleeping, his enemy came and sowed seeds among the wheat and went away. So when the plants came up and bore grain, then the weeds appeared also. And the servants of the master of the house came and said to him, Master, did you not sow good seed in your field? How then does it have weeds? He said to them, An enemy has done this. So the servants said to him, Then do you want us to go and gather them? But he said, No, lest in gathering the weeds you root up the wheat along with it. Let them both grow together until the harvest, and at harvest time I will tell the reapers, Gather the weeds first, and bind them in bundles to be burned, but gather the wheat into my field. And the next section is titled The Mustard Seed and the Leaven. He put another parable before them, saying, The kingdom of heaven is like a grain of mustard seed that a man took and sowed in his field. It is the smallest of all seeds, but when it has grown, it is larger than all the garden plants and becomes a tree, so that the birds of the air come and make nests in its branches. Now, I heard somebody argue one time about that and say that a mustard plant wasn't very big. Well, the mustard plants that we grow in the South are not very big. But the mustard that grows over there where Jesus was, it would grow into trees. So he was telling the truth. He told them another parable. The kingdom of heaven is like leaven that a woman took and hid in 3 measures of flour till it was all leavened. The next section is titled Prophecy and Parables. All these things Jesus said to the crowds in parables. Indeed, he said nothing to them without a parable. This was to fulfill what was spoken by the prophet. I will open my mouth in parables. I will utter what has been hidden since the foundation of the world. And the next section is titled The Parable of the Weeds Explained. Then he left the crowds and went into the house, and his disciples came to him, saying, Explain to us the parable of the weeds of the field. He answered, The one who sows the good seed is the Son of Man. The field is the world, and the good seed is the sons of the kingdom. The weeds are the sons of the evil one, and the enemy who sowed them is the devil. The harvest is the end of the age, and the reapers are angels. Just as the weeds are gathered and burned with fire, so will it be at the end of the age. The Son of Man will send his angels, and they will gather out of the kingdom all causes of sin and all lawbreakers, and throw them into the fiery furnace. In that place there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Then the righteous will shine like the sun in the kingdom of their Father. He who has ears, let him hear. The next section is titled The Parable of the Hidden Treasure. The kingdom of heaven is like treasure hidden in a field, which a man found and covered up. Then in his joy he goes and sells all that he has and buys the field. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like a merchant in search of fine pearls, who on finding one pearl of great value went and sold all that he had and bought it. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like a net that was thrown into the sea and gathered fish of every kind. When it was full, men drew it ashore and sat down and sorted the good into containers, but threw away the bad. So it will be at the end of the age. The angels will come out and separate the evil from the righteous and throw them into the fiery furnace. In that place there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Have you understood all these things? They said to him. Yes. And he said to them, Therefore every scribe who has been trained for the kingdom of heaven is like a master of a house who brings out of his treasure what is new and what is old. And when Jesus finished these parables, he went away from there. And coming to his hometown, he taught them in their synagogue, so that they were astonished and said, Where did this man get his wisdom and these mighty works? Is not this the carpenter's son? Is not his mother called Mary? And are not his brothers James and Joseph and Simon and Judas? And are not all his sisters with us? When then did this man get all these things? And they took offense at him. But Jesus said to them, A prophet is not without honor except in his hometown and in his own household. And he did not do many mighty works there because of their unbelief. And it's sad to think that Jesus' brothers and sisters, I don't know if all of them ever did accept who he was. We know James did. and there were probably some others, but they didn't accept it until after he was crucified and rose again. So it's up to each of us to make our own decision. You have to decide who Jesus is to you, and you have to decide whether you're going to make room for him. I saw a thing one time, it says all of us are innkeepers deciding whether we're going to make room for Jesus, and that is the truth. I hope if you haven't, I hope you will make room. And again, if you're not sure whether you're a Christian or not, message me or call me and let's talk, or talk to somebody. It's not hard to find out whether you are or not. And if you're talking to somebody and they can't help you, don't give up. Find somebody who can help you. And if you know you're not saved and you want to be, that's the easiest thing in the world to do. You just need to get with somebody who can help you make sure you've covered all the steps. Get baptized, get you a good Bible if you don't have one. I'll be glad to suggest some good kinds of Bibles for you to try. I've got several that you can look at and see if any of them are a version that you can read easily and understand, and get in a good Bible teaching church and get involved in that church. That's the thing. Don't just put your membership in a church and then don't do anything. Just from my own experience, the people that I'm closest to in my church and in other churches that I've been in are the ones that I worked with, whether we worked on Vacation Bible School or Bible study or anything like that, and the ones that I spent time with. That's how you get to know the people in your church, and that's how they get to know you. You get to serve together, and you get to enjoy each other's friendship. You can encourage one another, and that's what it's all about. You can be saved by yourself, but it sure makes it a lot easier and life a lot more fun when you have friends at church that you can depend on, who will listen to you and encourage you and pray for you, and who make sure that you are praying for them and lifting them up. We're all supposed to work together. So anyway, I hope y'all have had a good day today. Tomorrow is Friday, if I'm not mistaken. I believe today's Thursday. But I hope y'all had a good day today. I did. I feel like I've gotten a good bit done. And tomorrow's going to be another busy day. I'm glad to stay busy because I stay out of trouble when I stay busy. But anyway, I love y'all, and I will see y'all tomorrow.